For the last about 15 years, I've been running different workshops, and I've been a speaker internationally. And then finally, 2 years ago, I wanted to share it to a wider audience. So then I published my book, which, as you can see, is called Freedom to Be Me. So this was 2 years ago. And then since then, I want to do more workshops on having people to have the freedom to be themselves. I can only share, but the journey that you do is the work you do will be your journey. I can just share the information that fascinated me and was life-changing for me. If I hadn't done this journey, I wouldn't be expressing my potential, which I feel is what I'm doing now. I was living with fear, and I just wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing. So let's see how I can help all of you on your journey. You might be somewhere along the journey, or you might be starting. So I'm hoping that the tips we will be sharing for the next 4 weeks will be useful for you to have the freedom to be yourself, so you can express your potential fully and live a really happier and a fulfilled life. So that's my wish. So when we start, I just like to just bring, we have lots of things happening in our life. So let's just kind of center ourselves, bring your attention to your body, to your breath, and just breathe and relax. And my prayer is that I do my best and you get the best out of what I'm giving, and I also learn at the same time. So we shall begin now with assessing where are we at. All of you might be at a different point, and we've got a 4-week journey, and to really see if this is working, what you'll be practicing after the 4 weeks, is it all working? Let's see where you are today. Now, this is your own, your own journaling. You don't have to share this with anybody if you don't want to. And I hope you've got your pen and your journal or papers which you'll be using over the 4 weeks, and you'll be doing some work in the week as well, which you'll be recording and bringing back to the following sessions. So if 0 is that I don't feel happy with who I am, I'm just always living with fear, I don't feel comfortable in who I am, or 10 is, yes, I am free, I don't have any guilt, I don't have any shame, I'm not afraid of anybody, I can say what I want to do what I want to do. Now I have to say to you, I've been on this journey, but 10 is obviously, journey is continuous. So even for me, in some circumstances, I'll be about 8, other circumstances 9, and every day new fears come up, new situation, new fears come up. So I might even put myself as 7 sometimes. So it can be anywhere. So what I'd like you to do now, if you go to your paper or journal, and just note, where do you feel you have this freedom to be yourself or not? Are you 0, not at all? Are you 3, 4, 5? Where do you feel you are? If you can circle this and write this in your journal, that'd be really, really helpful. I'm just going to give you a little moment to do that. Okay, so I hope you've all graded yourself where you are, and then you can check after the journey if anything has shifted, even after end of today. If anything has shifted, you can have a look. So we are talking, so in order to just, everybody communicate with each other, see where you are at, I just want you to ask yourselves, and then in a little while, we're going to divide you into groups. And in the group, if you can please focus on these questions. What does having freedom to be you mean to you? What for each one of you, it may be different. For you personally, if you had the freedom, what would that be for you? And also, after you've kind of all gone round and said one or two things about that, then what stops you having that freedom? If you had the freedom, that would mean, wow, I would feel this kind of level of happiness, or I would go out and express my potential in wanting to be a speaker, or whatever it is. What would it mean for you? And what is then stopping you? There's a lot of things that stop us. So I want from you, what are your ideas of what stops us? Okay, so I will try, obviously, now to share with you what I know about how we can accept ourselves. So these are just some of the things probably came up in your group. We don't think we are special. We fear, don't accept ourselves. We are self-critical, all those kind of things. So then, so I just want to uh, just go back a little bit and just let you know what are the 4 sessions. So of course, today we are talking about self-acceptance. Next week, it will be about overcoming our fears, because that's one of the things that stops us. The third week will be taking responsibility for your own happiness. It's been my great learning when I took responsibility is when my life changed, and how to live a balanced life. I think this probably answers a little bit to Farida, that when we expect other people, maybe it doesn't happen, but I take responsibility. Let me start saying what I believe in, and maybe people will resonate with me. So that's what I would kind of think. So so these are the 4 sessions we'll be doing. So today we are talking about self-acceptance, which to me, I feel is absolutely huge, because so many of us don't. So how I like to look at ourselves, and in fact, not only look at it, is a fact that nobody, there's 7 billion people in this world, nobody has your fingerprints. Now this is true, isn't it? Every one of us has our own individual fingerprints. Plus, you don't have, unless you are a twin born, identical twin, you don't have another twin in this world. You are you. You are unique and you are special. Yeah, I know sometimes we have lookalikes. I mean, I've been told, oh, you look like my mother. Sometimes I'm at the airport and somebody will, in the queue will say, oh, you just look like my aunt, or you just look like my sister. So we have these lookalikes in the world, but nobody is you. And we are just so special. We are special like a piece in a jigsaw puzzle. Now, I'm sure all of you know what a jigsaw puzzle is and how unique each piece is. And it doesn't form a full picture if every piece is not what it is. Now imagine we compare ourselves to, oh, that person is better than me, or that person, I want to do this, or this isn't happening. What happens to that big picture? I mean, some jigsaw puzzles are beautiful pictures. And imagine if it was a lovely peacock jigsaw puzzle, and you take yourself out because you don't believe you belong, you're special, you're not that piece, you want to be like that person or that person. What's going to happen? That big picture is not going to be complete. So you are needed, you are special, and you are born to be special. So let's start to, first of all, acknowledge that I am unique and I am special, and I'm just like that jigsaw puzzle. And that can be a huge shift if we start accepting that. I really love what Rumi says. Don't you know that you are the light that shines the world? How is it that we are born in the short journey of life and then we leave this journey? What's the point? To me, it's what Rumi says. You are the light that shines the world. And if you're not going to be yourself, then that light is missing. We are light for each other. We light each other's lives. Just like in a jigsaw puzzle, we are connected to each other. And it's our light, our positivity, our shining our own light, which then allows other people to do the same around us. So you are that light that shines the world. You are special, you are unique, just as you are, just completely as you are. And I know we say it's a community that we want to belong to. I think, you know, in our group, it came up that sometimes we don't have that sense of belonging. But I think we need to first belong to ourselves. When we are comfortable in our own skin, I think we can belong in wherever we want to fit in. But it's when we don't accept ourselves, and we don't have to look for other people accepting us for us to accept ourselves. I think when we accept ourselves, then other people actually naturally start to accept us. And when you vibrate your energy of who you are, you must have noticed that people vibrate towards you. You vibrate that energy out to other people. So that's another, I think, another acceptance that you are that light that shines the world, that will help you to accept yourself. Now, another reason why we need to accept ourselves and not criticize ourselves. We are our own self-critics, and we criticize other people and we don't accept other people, and we are waiting for other people to accept us. But every one of us has a journey in life. We are born and we move through a journey, and then we die. Now, in that journey, your experiences, what your parents or grandparents or society taught you, will never be exactly the same as another person. We are all walking different paths according to what you experience. And any point in time in our life, we are the product of the molding that has happened to us according to our journey. Each one of us has a separate journey. Even identical twins have separate journeys. One twin has not walked completely in the other twin's shoes. So when we have this journey and this molding, at any point in time, the way we behave is the only way we know how to behave. Even sometimes we know that something is wrong at the back of our mind, like stealing or a murder, or even, because they know that it's wrong. But at the time they commit the crime, at the very moment, whatever is happening within them is the only way they know how to behave. This helps us to forgive. That doesn't mean we can go and do these crimes and we're okay. Forgiveness doesn't mean that the person who has done the crime should not go through the consequence of learning that this wasn't the right thing. But it also doesn't mean that we don't forgive them, because non-forgiving is it burns our body, not theirs. So accepting ourselves, here we're talking about our own acceptance. So to accept ourselves, because our journey is molded us to who we are right now. And when we accept, I'm not saying that we don't change. We can change. In fact, we can change better when we accept ourselves, because our body relaxes, our mind is clear, we can see. But when it's cluttered with self-criticism and worrying about what other people will say and judgments, we are not clear. How can we then create our own life? So we need to understand that you are the molding of whatever you have experienced, and it's okay. It's okay to be this in this moment and not to criticize ourselves. So moving on. So to accept ourselves, it means to value our imperfections as much as our perfections. None of us are perfect. We all have weaknesses. We all have strengths. Some of our weaknesses we can accept. You know, I was never accepting myself. I was always putting everybody else on a pedestal, especially if somebody was in some kind of a position that I thought was, oh, they are, you know, they're a board member, or they're this, I'm nothing. And it was only when I learned this and I started saying, no, we are all equal. I have my imperfections and my perfections. I have my strengths, they have theirs. They might be good at this thing, I'm good at this thing. And we are equal. They're not here and I'm not here. And that's allowed me to be what I'm doing even. If I hadn't accepted myself, I don't think I would be speaking to people because I was always fearful of what people will say. And it's okay to admit that there are some things I don't want to change. You know, I'm not very good at paperwork. I'm not very good at organizing my papers. And I struggled, but I'm accepting that now. I don't even want to change it anymore because it really doesn't matter to me right now. But my clothes, I had to get organized with my clothes. I'll tell you what I was doing. I used to dump all my clothes on this one chair and think, oh, there's no time. And then every end of the month, there was this pile up and I had to do it. And it was really getting me down. So I got a coach to help me to sort out my clothes. And now, as soon as I change my clothes, I put them straight away. And I have this thought, I'll leave it, I haven't got time. No, it doesn't take a moment. And I changed that. And now my wardrobe is quite tidy most of the time. So, you know, we can change things we want to change, but only by accepting in this moment who we are, what we are. It really makes a difference on realizing, okay, I want to change this about myself. This thing, it doesn't bother me. If somebody else criticizes, that's okay. I'm willing to accept that this is who I am and fine. And that's really what matters at the end of the day, is what you accept about yourself. So I hope this has given you some idea as to how basically to accept yourself. Now, how do we're going to talk about how do we then go about making changes once we accept ourselves. But before then, what I would like you to do is, again, I hope you've all got your journals. I'm going to give you a little moment, maybe about a couple of minutes. Now start accepting yourself now and write down all the things that you feel you're doing really well, that you are perfect at. Of course, no, none of us are 100% perfect, but as much as you are. So what things are you good at doing, being? What compliments other people give you? Sometimes when people give us compliments, oh, that's okay, it was just fluke. No, you look really nice. Yes, thank you very much. You did that really well. Thank you very much. Let's accept our compliments. So what is it that other people tell you you're doing really good? So just write a few things about yourself, your qualities, things that you are good at, and you've been saying, oh, that's okay. No, you're good at that, accept it. Okay, so, you know, I've just got a list of benefits. I'll just maybe let you read them quickly. These are the things that I feel are of benefit to us when we accept ourselves. If you have a quick look. I mean, maybe at some point we might share this slide so everybody can look at it. And, you know, these are all actually in my book as well. So if anybody fancies having the book, it's available on Amazon too. And it could be a companion to this workshop we're doing. Again, you know, benefits of being unique. You'll have more confidence, more creative. Okay, so this is your homework and also how we now start to accept yourself. So in this week, between this week and next session, what I would like you to start doing is every day at whatever time it suits you, either at night or morning or middle of the day, write 5 things, starting with, I am unique and special because. Because what? And this will build that. It's like building a courage muscle. When you write something every day, you're building that muscle of self-acceptance. You know, when we go to the gym, it doesn't happen overnight. After today, if you forget this and don't practice it, nothing much will happen. If you are working out and you don't do it regularly, your muscles are not going to be strengthened. So this is a muscle strengthening, life-changing exercises, and you need to do. So that's why I said have a journal, write every day 5 things. I am special and unique because. Now, also wanting to become more accepting, become aware now. In this week, become aware. Where and when am I not accepting myself? Where am I comparing myself to others? Where am I judging myself, my qualities? Even like, if short-temperedness isn't a good quality in your life, it's not helping you, for example, then for now, accept it. Okay, I have been somebody who is bad-tempered. Okay, breathe, acknowledge. Once you accept, body relaxes, the mind calms down. You're only accepting it for this moment. And then set a new intention. What would you like instead? Would you like to be more calmer? Would you like to, think about what is happening before you react, so you're not short-tempered? Thank you for sharing that, because it's giving me a good example. So some things I accept about myself, but what you don't accept, set a new intention. I now want to be somebody who is more, what's the opposite of short-tempered? Somebody who is not reacting so quickly, maybe. So opposite of short-tempered, what would you like? What's the new thing you would like? So this is basically your homework for this week. Practice, see what changes are happening in your life. And then we will come back and we can share next week. And then we will do the lesson I said, I think it was on overcoming fear for next time.